And to the upper right, in the blue for AGO Esports XCOM, he is ELAZER.
And in the bottom left, it's the second player from Team NV trying to make it out of group stages. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bunny. Here's my question, Beo.
No questions allowed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what's your question? I didn't expect you to follow along with it there. Come on.
Yes, and what do you mean?
No but. There we go. That's the one.
No but. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say the one time where yes and kills the improv. But do we see any like actual? So do we see any actual like kind of cheese where we had ELAZER go for the 1-1 roach timing attack in game 2, a bit delayed, a bit reserved? Do we see him like fully embrace that, do you think, on like either hardware or 2K ammo? Or is ELAZER going to try and play a bit more towards the mid game?
Well, I don't know. Hardwire feels like a better match, a better map, excuse me, for that kind of roach idea. It is a slightly more wide open third. It's a shorter map. Whereas 2K Atmos is just kind of a big map. So if he's going to do it, I think he does it there. I kind of want to see ELAZER go into the mid game. We haven't really seen him do it from equal level, right? We've seen him try to all in or take a lot of damage in the early game. So I want to see him really focus on, instead of trying to be aggressive in the early game, just really make sure he doesn't take damage. Maybe stop trying to cut so many corners. I mean, we did see him get punished for only building only keeping the 6 initial lings or 4 initial lings, adding 2 to 4. And Hellions dove in. He lost 6 workers. He felt himself forced into an all-in state. Didn't work. There we were. And then game 2, he went 1-1 roach, and he didn't transition out of it fast enough. So we haven't seen him go and really be solid in the mid game, but really attempt to be solid in the mid game. So I want to see him try to do that. I think he has the ability to do so. Especially, with as much practice against Clem as he's going to get. And, Bunny probably is going to be fairly good at that, too. I mean, we saw how good he was in the mid-game against Maru, but it's something we haven't seen yet. I think that's going to be key here for ELAZER.
Yeah, absolutely. So far, it's just the exact same openings that we had in both of the other games. Of course, you're going to be having that reactor on the barracks that will eventually be switched over to the factory, and it is the double gas opening, so it will be Cloaked Banshee. Or actually, no, it's not going to be Cloak Banshee. Sorry, this is the 2-on-1. So, yeah, so far the exact same openings for both players as we had in their first series, where it is, in fact, Bunny going for the 2-on-1, and it is ELAZER just standard link speed. No crazy early Roach Warren or anything like that. And so far, this is just, I mean, again, a perfect kind of running it back of what we had in that first series. And I'm really interested to see just if really, it's on ELAZER to try and switch things up if he wants to have a different result. Because Bunny, as I said, he's perfectly comfortable just doing the same thing. He got the 2-0 in the first series. He knows that ELAZER likes to be aggressive, so he's just going to play safe.
You're telling me that Bunny is going to go for proxy 3-port battlecruiser?
Well, naturally, of course, that's what Bunny is known for. That's his pride and joy build.
Who proxies a battlecruiser? Well, I guess it's better than proxying a tank. Oh man. So it is interesting. This is a 2-on-1 from Bunny once again. Run it back. It's a 2-on-1 here in this game, just like last game. Now, I'm sorry, we actually have a major difference in this game that we have not talked about. ELAZER's on the top half of the map this time. He's not on the bottom half. It's going to make such a big difference in this game, as everything else is identical. It's a 2-on-1. No one's lost much of anything. We're going to have to see what exactly happens here, but at this point, I mean, ELAZER seems like he knows what's happening. He's got his 4th base underway. That being said, we don't have the flood of lings yet. And we're getting to the point where we really need to see that.
Yeah, the ELAZER's a bit late on it. The Baneling Nest is only just now coming down. That's normal. There we go. 10 lings on the way.
You need more than that, though.
Yeah, you do. It's a decent queen count. The queen count is not high enough to fight 16 Marines quite yet. And also, Bunny has kept this Reaper alive, and there is some kind of tricks you can do with the Reaper to try and get that KD8 charge to push the queens out of position. But there we go. 22 lings in total, so 12 more added on top of the 10. Should be just enough to be able to hold on to this 4th base, unless the ELAZER doesn't commit because he doesn't have the ling count. That's a cancel on the 4th. Bunny already going to be pretty happy with that much damage.
That he will, and now he's going to try to move into the main, look to try to punish ELAZER for the same idea that he was able to do in 2K Atmos last time. It's like, yes, you're situated here to defend the fourth. What if I dive into the main? Are you going to have anything there? The answer was no. Lots of damage happened. ELAZER forced him to an all-in position. In this game, well, that has not happened. ELAZER, yes, has had his fourth cancel, but honestly, getting your fourth canceled to a 2-1-1, it's not ideal, but it's not game-ending. Your opponent is already making economic sacrifices. Their third base is going to be later. Their upgrades are going to be later. It does, it does cause problems. But we are, again, seeing ELAZER. He went for the delayed Evo idea. He's going with that. He does have his lair done now. But there we go. Third medevac. Widow Mine up to, be able to do math. 16 plus 6 is 22. So 22 Marines, a medevac, a Reaper, all that stuff trying to get its way on in. One Queen goes down. An Overlord goes down as well. ELAZER and Overlords. Name a more iconic duo. But that looks like it's going to be it. Now, we don't have any Banelings on the map, I don't think. Certainly none in this group. And I feel like at this point, we've kind of hit critical mass where you do need Banelings, at least to force the Marines to micro properly.
Yeah, I mean, transfusion energy is running out for these queens. You already see one go down. There's a good amount of lings, but again, they can't commit in until that Widow Mine has used up its charge. But we already have a second factory on the way for Bunny. So it's 3 Widow Mines at a time, drilling claws, as well as the armory finished for the cloak. So it's going to be a very, very, heavy committal to these mine drops. Oh my, that Widow Mine gets an amazing shot. ELAZER didn't split up the lings just quite well enough. But the 1-1 isn't going to be too far ahead for Bunny. Again, when you're going Ling Bane, usually you're going to have pretty decent timings with your 1-1 upgrades. It's going to be fairly even with that of the Terran. Just the worry is right now, I think, well, Bunny has been able to keep ELAZER onto his own side of the map, and behind it, Bunny is establishing a third. He's adding on his additional, buildings and production. And there's not really anything that ELAZER can do to slow it down until we have this Baneling run by, but Marine's already there.
Yeah,
Bunny's just ready.
The Rainer timing not really working out. It did time up perfectly with Baneling speed, by the way, which is what you're looking to do. But only 3 workers and a couple Marines did go down as Widow Mine. I guess was there from earlier. I thought he cleaned up all of them. Well, it's not going to do much. But once again, we got it's the same game, except this time ELAZER took less damage, so now he's going to try to find a little bit more on the other side. Widow Mine, nice splits there from ELAZER, trying to make sure that he gets as much possible on top of this army. More and more Banelings rolling on in, syncing up with 1-1 once again, but again, it's 1-1 versus 0-0. We're going to have to see the third base get lifted, and that's going to be a massive Widow Mine. That being said, all the SCVs are going to get saved. Yes, 10 go down, but so many more stay alive, because medevacs, they can pick up anything, not just army units, as we see so often. So we will see the supply depots go down. At the very least, Bunny is not going to be supply blocked. He's below 100 supply. I like this, and here's the thing. We've seen the evolution from ELAZER. 13 drones on the way, 5th base. He's in a much better situation. That Widow Mine. Yeah,
this is so much better from ELAZER. Again, he takes a little bit less damage. It wasn't a ton less damage, but it's definitely a lot less. That just completely contradict myself, but takes a little bit less damage, goes for the same timing. Again, it's before 1-1. It doesn't seem to matter that much, though. ELAZER commits on in, gets the lift off, gets a ton of worker kills, and instead of continuing to try and pile on the pressure and feel like he has to all in, he says, I have 4 bases. I can rebuild my army fast enough. I'm just going to add on drones. I'm going to get up my 2-2, and I'm going to try and take this to the mid game instead of trying to end it there. And I think that's just such a smart move from ELAZER, because now, Bunny is sitting about 15 workers behind. ELAZER is going to be almost even with that 2-2 timing, and he has enough Ling Bane to defend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love he's also going into Burrow here as he gets that 2-2. We got all the purple upgrades. Well, a decent amount of the purple upgrades coming in from Bunny. This Queen positioning for the Widow Mine drop. Yeah, it's not going to get any. Threading the needle, but it's going to go down here. Widow Mine's going to burrow. But Queens can absolutely tank some Widow Mine shots and be very happy with things. Transfuse energy is a wonderful drug. Nice catch there. Really nice catch there from ELAZER. And it feels like he's kind of buttoned up the issues, at least in this game, that he had in game number 1. Now, that's not to say that he's going to win the game. There's a lot to be played, but he's got a Hydralisk dead now. He's got a Evo chamber on the way. He's going to be able to get in the hive. He's doing a really good job of tracking these drops here. The Queens are going to find another one. Widow Mines are going to attempt to follow a drop, but not too much will go down. Nice target fire, though.
Oh, wow.
But still, only 4 workers go down. Queens are totally happy eating those Widow Mine shots instead of their babies. And now 2-2 just about done. Yeah, it's about a 15-20 second window that the Terran's gonna have 2-2 and ELAZER's not, but I don't really think we're gonna see too much out of that. As once again, actually, it looks like we're gonna see Bunny go for the fake drop idea, as you got 2 empty medevacs going across creep and the 2 full medevacs. Well, they're actually gonna sit there and yeah, Bunny's just not finding value with these Widowmine drops at all.
Yeah, and he went for, I mean, and even earlier, he went for this, again, the super early armory. Oh, wow, that Widowmine.
It only takes one.
They absolutely shredded through the circlings, but Bunny did commit, again, to a very early armory, to the 3 factories to get even more Widowmines. This is how he wants to get damage done in this game. It's done a decent amount. That's 8 workers in total for, you know, for 2 Widowmine drops. It's definitely decent. And the nice thing is for Bunny, though, behind it, he's been able to establish a 4th. And so ELAZER hasn't been able to go back across the map and look for counterattacks. That being said, you still have ELAZER in a great position. Right now, 92 workers, 5 bases, can pretty much max out with his next swell of Ling, Bane, and Hydras. You know, I don't think there's really too much that Bunny can do to try and attack, especially taking a Baneling hit like that.
Okay,
Completely is going to eliminate the threat on this right flank.
Okay, so here's my question. As we do see 2-2 is done, we got +1 ranged on the way. I mean, the standards. Oh, I love this. This is not just the burrowed Widowmines. This is, your army's going to show up. I'm going to get a surround. Oh, it's going to get found out. Never mind. This is why you don't burrow on the edge of creep, by the way. Widowmine, nice target fire. My question, though, is whether ELAZER goes for the Hydraling Bane bust. This is something that we've seen ELAZER in particular do, where you get up to this situation, kind of. You max out on a bunch of different substances. Hey, free medevac. But you max out on Hydraling Bane, you really delay your Techno Lurkers, but you get a lot more Hydras, and you just look to break the Terran player. Now, I don't think the creep is in the situation for ELAZER to really make that happen, and he is going into lair. But considering the kind of the supply advantage he's had for a time, well, we may see that as the Queen will go down. Of course, it's still Baneling's burrowed on the edge of creep, which is you want them off creep so they don't get hit by a scan. But even still, you said that ELAZER can't move on the other side of the map. Can't really exert too much pressure. That's fair, but on the flip side, a Bunny is really struggling to find his way onto the edge of creep as the... he's gonna miss it. Never mind. Oh, on the backside, on the backside, on the backside.
Oh! That was glorious. I think that, was that burrowed Banelings?
That was burrowed Banelings.
I could barely even see them, but ELAZER detonates, blows up Bunny's army, and now the Hydra should be able to finish off the rest of these Marauders. And guess what? Behind it, it's a counterattack. It's Lings committed onto the other side of the map. They force a lift up on the 5th. ELAZER absolutely on fire in this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's up 34 workers. Actually, just a second ago, it was even more. Up massively economically here, although granted, we only see up 250 minerals a minute because mules are a thing, but over time, he's going to mine a whole lot more here. More and more Banelings find their way on in. SCVs are going to be properly pulled, but we have Lurkers on the way. Lurker range is just about done now. ELAZER's not really going to be able to be that aggressive until we have burrow speed coming up as well, because, you know, until then, Seismic Spine is just very much a defensive tool. But it looks like Bunny will be able to retake his 5th base once again, but ELAZER now consistently building this supply lead, although, in fairness, most of the supply lead really is in the economy at this point. The army of Bunny is still somewhat strong, but here's what I'm looking at. We talk about relative supplies, that's fine. Bunny has not started his anti-lurker. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. He's got 4 ghosts in the way. Never mind. Because he hasn't started his anti-lurker position yet. He hasn't been trading well enough. But 4 ghosts, they're a big deal. Although we don't have any on the map right now. So this timing, where ELAZER has his lurkers, where there are no ghosts on the map yet. Maybe. Oh, that's a lot of stuff that just died.
That was a massive spine hand. Mind you, even though the ghosts are coming, they're not out quite yet. They're finally going to pop. The tank count isn't even that high for Bunny right now. Has a, you know, there's a few tanks, but not enough to really threaten the lurkers. And as well, the Liberators are out of position right now, but it's not quite enough for ELAZER to push. As you said, doesn't have the speed burrow. You know, that just means that it's so much harder to push with the lurkers because it takes so long for them to burrow regularly. But with that being said, Bunny should be able to avoid having any more damage done against him. Oh, Widowmines, great hits. But I still think there's enough Banelings here that they should just be able to blow up this planetary fortress, even with the focus fire, and that's going to be the 5th base once again, killed by ELAZER. Behind this ELAZER, I would like to see him expanding a bit more. Only has the 6th base coming up to that top left-hand side. He really has enough minerals right now to throw down even more hatcheries, and he absolutely should, because there's so much lenience there's so much lenience in this game for him with the lurkers now out. That's going to stop Bunny from really aggressively pushing until that ghost count gets to about, 9 or so, which it is approaching.
And I'm actually really curious to see how good Bunny's late game ghost control is, because of course we talked about this. He's Maru's teammate. Maru probably has the best late game TVC in the world. I think that's fair. His ghost control does surpass Clem. I know that's going to be controversial, but I think that's very much true. So we're going to have to see how much Bunny has learned. It's nice job dragging the Widowmine on top of the tank, just getting a little bit more damage there. Granted, there's now no detection. That's the problem. Is now Bunny's going to find his way on into this third base of, or I guess this was the fourth base of ELAZER here. And the entire army of ELAZER is on the wrong side of the map. So this is going to be a dead base. And ELAZER's not going to be able to counter. That being said, there are a lot of Hydras here. How many medevacs is he going to get? One goes down, and that is not enough. And he didn't get the, there was one medevac that had like 5 ghosts into it. Unfortunately, he did not see that. So, well, actually, Parabomb.
Oh, that's massive. All the medevacs should go down. ELAZER gets a huge catch on the end of that with the Vipers, which just got enough energy, and now Bunny's going to try and push this right side. But Bunny has to be careful. Right now, he's down 30 supply. If this army also gets cleaned up, there's not going to be enough production for Bunny to really properly remax before ELAZER can counterattack. And Bunny realizes that, snipes the base, picks up, gets on out, doesn't want to risk losing any more units.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, ELAZER, he has a big supply lead. He has a rather significant army complexity lead. However, he did just lose 2 bases. He is now, I mean, he's what? He has effectively 2 mining bases right now, I think, maybe 2.5. So he does have to do something to go break the, to go take advantage of this tech lead, of this minor army supply lead. And maybe, oh God!
Oh, Bunny's losing so much in these medevacs just to not quite being aware of where ELAZER is positioning his army. This might just be more. These medevacs are all trapped.
One parasitic bomb.
Oh.
Well,
oh, the yoink onto the wrong one. There we go. I mean, that's just so many units that Bunny has lost, just not being, just not really knowing where the Hydras are being positioned.
And I so wish that the Observer Plus mod, the battle report, actually showed us what was in those medevacs, because it doesn't. It doesn't show you how much was in there. So we can't just see how much died, but is the Ling gonna get it? No, okay, it's gonna unburrow, and there we go. It's dead. But I mean, how does Bunny stop this now? He just lost so much here. Lings, Banes, Lurkers are gonna find their way on in. This tank's dead immediately. Lings are gonna get around on top of all of this SCVs. Ghosts are gonna snipe what they can, but I mean, Hydras are doing a great job of just target firing down the ghosts that are sniping. That being said, the Banes are not rolling in, so all the snipes are gonna go down here. ELAZER kind of making a mistake with that engagement. You gotta put the Banes in to buffer for the Lurkers. But here we go. Banelings make the connection. GG on ELAZER takes his first map against Bunny in this tournament. He goes up 1-0.
And what does Bunny do? Does he just go for the Hellions, the Cloaked Banshees, just try and apply pressure after that? Or is he going to try and mix it up a bit more again? I want to see Bunny get a bit more out on the map. Again, I liked the Widowmine drops in the last game, but ELAZER actually dealt with them pretty beautifully, considering, that Speed Burrow, Cloaked Widowmines, just coming across the map constantly alongside a bit of pressure on the creep. ELAZER did had just amazing job in making sure he limited the damage that it dealt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, what, they got like 6 drones maybe, I think, off of like 6 medevacs attempting to get work done. That is not cost effective. Yeah, Widowmines, they're not as expensive as some other things. But if you're getting a 4 Widowmines in a medevac and you're losing the medevac too, that gets expensive very quickly. It takes a lot of power out of your push. And granted, I mean, how many games have we seen where the Zerg lets it land and they lose 30 workers over the course of like 3 minutes, and you're like, oh wow, they're dead. Because you were like, okay, I can either redrone and die because I don't have enough army, or I can build army and die because I don't have an economy. It really does become problematic. But we did see the somewhat quote unquote rare result, the flip side result of that, where instead, ELAZER took literally 0 damage. Looks like that drone was trying to take the 28 hatch, and well, there's an SCV there, which means it's gonna have to delay itself just a little bit, wait until the Lings are out. Maybe take a little bit sneakier approach, but there we go. Should be able to take the third. The meta of I'm gonna have a SCV delay hatches for forever, it's gone, which for my Zergy heart makes me very happy.
Here's an interesting little fact here of information. So far on 2K Atmosphere between Bunny and ELAZER, it has been the player on the top side of the map that has won both times. And now on Hardwire, once again, we have swapped the positions of the players. Does that mean that it's actually just the spawn position that is OP?
Well, if that was true,
If
then,
ELAZER wins.
then Hardwire, well, if you're implying that top is Imba, but I guess, yeah, Bunny did win on the bottom. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is some argument. I think I have seen people argue before. I think there was some sort of meta-analysis that someone did on StarCraft Reddit a couple years ago that was trying to argue that, yes, people spawning on the bottom side of the map have a marginally higher win rate than people spawn. No, sorry, it was not a StarCraft thing. Someone did a Dota study and said, hey, look, I think the reason that the top side of the map has the lower win rate is because everyone's looking at the same direction, and it feels more intuitive to look from the bottom of your screen up than top of your screen down. So therefore, people that the team that spawns on the bottom side of the map is going to have an easier game to play. But of course, that doesn't really matter here because the top side won game one twice. So you know.
Yeah, it's a bit different. But I do remember there were a few people who were talking about just how your mouse movement especially sometimes controls a bit easier if you're scrolling down. But I don't think at this level it really does make all that big of a difference. Again, that game one was just ELAZER properly changing his play to match what Bunny was doing, and making those adjustments, which is great to see. And now we're headed on into this game number 2. It does look like, again, Bunny will be switching it up a little bit. Very fast third CC. So this is the standard single gas. You put down the third command center, you get a few Hellions out with the factory, and then the follow-up is actually going to be up to 3 racks before the starport. This is again something that Terrans have been kind of experimenting with and doing, where they are just testing out, hey, how much can I actually delay the starport tech and get up this really strong bio army? Definitely what I've seen before, the most common one is the second barracks before the starport.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, nice catch there with the Queens. They will get the Reaper, which, of course, damage sticks to Hellions, damage doesn't stick to Reaper, so knocking that Reaper out is going to be very, very, very nice for our Stark player. But you talk about Bunny making some minor changes and how he builds it, where, how, when, why he builds his structure to take advantage of getting that quick third. But ELAZER is playing the build he did last game. He says, enough with this Roach nonsense. I'm not going to do that. It's not worth it. Instead, I'm going to play the same idea that I did in the previous one. I'm going to get my Baneling Nest. I'm going to get my upgrades. I'm going to play Ling Bane, because that was, in the first series, that was the closest he got to winning, and it actually won him game number 1. So we're going to have to see whether he's going to be able to make that happen. Again, his relative economic state is not as good as it was in the last game, because Bunny did go for that, what was it, that 250, maybe 230 third command center. We didn't quite clock the timing at the time. But anyway, a very early command center. And that does now mean that, again, his economy is just relatively going to be a little bit better. And that's just something ELAZER is going to have to deal with as they move on into the mid game. And this is a massive 1-1 to 0-0 timing lead.
Yeah. No, very, very early on those 1-1 upgrades, Bunny. As I said, fully taking advantage of this additional money that he's going to have from this super economical opening. Got those engineering bays up much earlier, has the 1-1 on the way. He didn't have to, use his gas to get the early armory for the Widowmine drops. Has just been building tanks, and so I definitely like this from Bunny as just a standard macro opening. Is now going to be sending out a double drop to try and see if he can get any poking done around the 4th base, which has already been established in ELAZER, even going straight up to a 5th. And again, as we said, ELAZER changing his playstyle. He's just completely embracing the mid to late game. He's saying, all right, I'm not going to try and kill you early. I can be aggressive, but I'm really actually just going to focus on actually getting up a strong economy and playing this Ling Bane style and trying to just face you in a straight up macro game.
Yeah, now there is, I think we hit upon this a second ago, but there is now about 30 seconds where Bunny has 1-1 versus 0-0. And yes, in TVZ, the timing window that Bunny may be looking for is, 2-2 versus 1-1, 3-3 versus 2-2. It's just the tradition, the thing that has been true for the last 2 expansions. But any sort of double upgrade timing is massive here, just again because of how quickly Marines fire, how the damage scales. You want to, if you have a additional attack upgrade versus armor, well, things get problematic. But here we got the Rainer timing this time. Oh. Bunny's not there. He has nowhere to run. Oh no! Oh no! Detours.
6 workers end up going down. Ling's now trying to storm in to protect against this double drop as the Queen's trying their best to defend. Will force a pickup there, but now Bunny swing this army down to the bottom right. Only lost 6 workers. That could have been a lot worse with the Baneling drop, and he should be able to deny this 5th base here, get the kill onto it, and that's obviously a good pickup behind it. But that was quite the ride we went on there.
You try to zoom in and make it look all nice, and then you just click on the map in the wrong spot. You're like, oh no! But it's fine. Our observer in general is doing a fantastic job. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate. Sometimes, you know, things don't go perfectly, but it's fine. He's doing a great job. We have, by the way, ELAZER did lose that 5th base, but even quicker, he's getting into Lurker Tech this time. He's got his hive halfway done at 8 minutes in. Unfortunately, you know, there we go, Bunny. He was aware if ELAZER had attacked with all that, the entire army at once, the entire army would be dead because Bunny wasn't kind of noticing it in time. But anyway, hive about halfway done. We do have Lurker Den finishing up as well here. Hydras are starting to hit the field, which, again, the goal of Hydras, you don't have to build too many because ideally they're staying the same fight after fight. And we're going to see what happens there. Now, that being said, there is no +2 anywhere on the map for ELAZER. He's getting +1 ranged, but not +2 armor. He has the money for it. I gotta imagine that there we go, +2 armor underway now, which means that this army is not going to be quite as good as it might otherwise be.
Yeah, I mean, the +2/+2 here for Bunny is going to be pretty massive. That's a kill on the hatchery. Not even a cancel for ELAZER. And those start to stack up. After losing 1 hatchery and now not canceling that one, it's a bit of money that you're starting to lose here, especially when you're trying to get your Hydralisk transition up. You need as many minerals as possible. But ELAZER's still in a decent spot. Again, still on 4 bases very, very comfortably. Sitting at 93 workers, is now adding on Vipers. And once again, those burrowed Banelings, I'm loving him just mixing those in as those Mind Drags. Very, very good onto that army on the left side of the map. Once again, ELAZER just playing super, I mean, straight up, and Bunny just runs into the burrowed Banelings. They literally burrowed in front of him.
Yeah, I don't think he was looking.
Yeah, still walks onto them, and again, I'm just loving how ELAZER is handling these games as well. Slow Hydralisk, maybe he shouldn't be walking across the map with those, but the scan comes down in time.
Yeah, we just got about 12 seconds now. One thing we should say here, the creep spread in general for ELAZER is fantastic this game. However, the creep outside of his 5th, where he's fighting right now, is really not developed at all. Bunny has done a fantastic job of curtailing that one, which does, of course, mean that it's a little bit easier for Bunny to really press into that one. As now finally we have 2-2 underway. Seismic Spine's about halfway done. And you know what? Honestly, 3-3 is not getting started all that quickly. In fact, +3 attack is very late indeed. We need some detection here. Please get rid of that Widow Mine. But Bunny is starting to kind of squander this upgrade lead that he has. Granted, he still has it right now, but he's not advancing it. He's not maintaining it as we have Banelings going in. And I love, nice Mind Drag. I love what we're seeing here out of Bunny, where he's just kind of like putting Widow Mines right behind him, just trying to bait ELAZER into big Widow Mine shots to try to just get solid trades. ELAZER's doing the same thing, by the way, with burrowed Widow Mines everywhere. Apparently, the units that are in the ground are more important than the units that are over the ground at this stage in the game. Is now 2-2 just about done for ELAZER, at least +2 armor. As we also, of course, have Lurker Burrow getting ready as well. This is where, when you're playing this style, you know, Quick Hive, Ling Bane into Hydras, you're playing for this part of the game. When you have Vipers, when you have Lurkers, when you have Lurker Burrow speed. And that is kind of your big time. And it's weird to say, yes, we're playing, nice abduct there. 2 tanks will go down for pretty much free. It's weird to say, yeah, I'm playing for a 12-minute timing, but that is absolutely the timing that Bunny's looking for, that ELAZER's looking for right now, as Banelings come on in, knock off the Marines, and the Marauders on the side. There we go. Lurker Burrow, not quite yet done, but it doesn't really matter because the fight looks good enough here. The scan is going to go down, but the Lurkers aren't really getting target fire for the most part. They're just getting massive shots. And now ELAZER, he's in a fantastic spot. Bio is going to look to stim on in, but we still have Blinding Clouds if that's necessary. Adaptive Talent is now done, which means repositioning is totally fine. This is a great fight for ELAZER. He looks to absolutely remove Bunny from every part of the map. We're even going to see some medevacs get abducted.
Yeah, I mean, it looked sketchy at the start as the first group of, Ling, Bane, and Hydra were going down without Lurker support, but now ELAZER has been able to trade very, very well. The upgrades are evened out, especially on the tail end of this fight, and that's the big news is, Bunny, this is what happened last game. No, not the medevacs. Okay, they get out.
Do that? Yeah, okay, yeah. ELAZER not quite paying attention well enough, but what this has done, as we did see Bunny pushing on into the 3rd base of ELAZER, he didn't get that much creep. which is big. If you're trying to look at how, like, trying to make this lurker style die, you got to get the creep. B, all the pressure on the right-hand side of the map has been relieved by this pressure that Bunny's been putting on the left side. So the two bases that ELAZER took there, the kind of the internal base and the, I don't know, call it the 6 o'clock base, both of them are now dead. Both of them are now there. They're solidly entrenched, which is always going to be problems. The lurker's now going to siege on up, getting shots over the wall, and now the scans. Oh, the Widow Mine, or sorry, the Baneling.
No, the burrowed banelings, they're just randomly positioned, but it's so good. Bunny is not expecting it. He can't just scan everywhere he's going. And ELAZER's on top of these burrowed banelings. Like, I've honestly never seen a player be so on top of these burrowed baneling detonations. It's very impressive.
Yeah, man, ELAZER is just playing so well. Yeah, so well in this game. Are we?
Oh, looks like a bit of lag there
from
our
admin.
One of our admins. No hesitation from either of these players. We're back on into it. But yeah, this is really awesome play from ELAZER. And we are even going to see, again, this really annoying thing that Zergs can do, where you just burrow a lurker with your range, and you're just going to get so many worker kills because they do so much damage. Oh. Already so many SCVs going down there, and burrowed banelings.
Not
so close.
Not quite paired up, but still, 7 workers have gone down. We saw some massive swipes. But what this does is it forces the army of Bunny back. It forces him to reposition, which now means ELAZER can take a much more aggressive position, really on 2 sides of the map right now. So we will see this orbital get target fire down here. The Hydras are going to be enough to kill it up, even if it leaves. Lurkers are going to burrow on up here. Army trying to find its way on in, but we got a flank coming on in from both sides. Are there any Vipers? No. So no blinding clouds. In fact, nice around there for Bunny. I kind of did not think that was going to work out for him, but it did at the end of the day. And now he's going to be able to equalize the supplies just a little bit, but 22 more Hydras on the way, plus 3 attack is about done for ELAZER, and his lurkers are about to get so much scarier.
Yeah, absolutely is. Not only did Vitamin DC, we will get that sound back up and running. Don't worry about that. But right now, ELAZER, that was not the best play. Did have his army split up, and then Bunny just commits to one side of the map because ELAZER isn't pushing in the left side quite fast enough, and so does end up losing quite a bit. But still, again, ELAZER has so much to work with. He's at 83 workers. You know, there's so much economy for the Zerg right now, and he's getting plus 3 attack for those lurkers. As you said, it's going to make them so scary to deal with. And right now, Bunny, I mean, he has 12 ghosts, but his tank count is not high at all. And that's really what you need, is the tanks to anchor down your units and to allow them to have a good defensive line.
And what I will say is there are only 5 lurkers on the map right now, which can be a problem. That being said, this is something you'll see Zergs do occasionally when they're like, look, my opponent has a lot of ghosts. They have a lot of anti-lurker. So what do? I just kind of stop building lurkers for a while. I'll just build a lot of Hydras, go almost back to that Ling Bane idea. That being said, I do want to see more upgrades for ELAZER. Right now, he's on 132. He really should be on 33. I love that blinding cloud, though. It really, it forces the AI of the bio player to all mess up here. And they're all so low, and now lurkers will finish. And suddenly, Bunny's supply evaporates.
Those blinding clouds, as you said, were so good because ELAZER needed time for those lurkers to morph in. So he just blinding clouds, forces Bunny to back up, and then the second one forces everything forward. Now these tanks are going to get caught out. Bunny's supply is dropping. He's just constantly taking worse and worse army trades. ELAZER is playing absolutely brilliant in this series.
Yeah, so
and all these burrowed lurkers too.
Always going to get a base cancel too. I want to talk about something you talked about, you hit up on for a second here, but the benefit of blinding clouds against bio is like, wow, why would you do that? They're mobile. It's 2 reasons. A, you know, it prevents them firing. That's great. But B, it makes their AI mess up. It means they will just start run right towards whatever you look for because they need to get range. They're suddenly melee range. So suddenly you have all this bio units running on, trying to get right on top of a lurkers. It works out very well for the Zerg players. Now Bunny back down to 120 supply. Feels like he's running out of his scans. I mean, he's not just constantly cleaning this up. 7 workers have died. Bunny, he's kind of stuck on 5 bases now, and yeah, ELAZER did lose some lurkers. But he's just getting torn apart.
This is, oh my god, ELAZER. I mean, constantly, just everywhere across the map, the lurkers just being burrowed in these annoying positions. Bunny has 57 workers. He's down in army supply as well. ELAZER, 50 supply up, looking to try and close out this game. He's gathering his army on this right side. He's looking for a counterattack with the Lings. This is just, I mean, this was really a masterful display of macro from ELAZER, and Bunny is going to try and hold, but what can you do? There's so many lurkers, there's so many Hydras. All of the ghosts should go down. There's only a few left on the high ground, and even then, there is not enough to hold on here for Bunny. And unfortunately for him, that means that both the enemy Terrans will not be advancing. And it's going to be ELAZER making an incredible upset here to advance out of this group.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, when you have ghosts, you have a prayer. But at this point, the economy is so developed for ELAZER at this point. Lurkers are not finding their way on into the natural. What we're waiting on is ELAZER's next rally. We're waiting for the next set of units to find their way on in so he can finally start to break. Lurkers or Vipers would be nice. I don't think that he has any right now. And Bunny's doing a great job of staying up, of not dying. He's not living, but he's not dying for now, and, you know, crazier things have happened. But at this point, you know, again, as you said, the third base is down. ELAZER now finally has +3 armor. He has +2 attack. His Lings are more powerful. His Hydras are more powerful. At this point, it's not about the Lurkers anymore. It's just about the sheer consistent DPS. There are no tanks. There's nothing that really deals with it. Maybe a nuke. Maybe a nuke's going to be enough, but it will just get target fired it on down. Nothing happening, nothing doing, and there are no scans. Not enough. Another Lurker will just get 2-3 big shots before being forced back. And Bunny, I mean, I'm impressed that he's still in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the tenacity and the ghost control at the end of this game has actually been really decent, but it's just felt like Bunny has traded too inefficiently. He was constantly, even though he was on 5 bases, he was constantly having to rebuild, you know, units. He was never really in a comfortable economic position just because he was just losing units. You know, thinking back to that suicide in for the third base where he lost almost his entire army just to try and get the base and didn't even get that many workers. It was constantly losing trades here for Bunny and ELAZER in this series. I mean, I don't know what happened the first time they played, but ELAZER apparently realized that, oh wait, my macro is actually really good as Bunny's gonna try and commit in. There's too many lurkers, GG! ELAZER with the fist bump, he's made it through, and he is hyped up.
Oh man. This is why we have player This is why we have player cams. The pop off there